Hi and welcome to my channel. So, a job interview is not only an opportunity for you to showcase your skills to your prospective employer so that they can give you that job, but it's an excellent opportunity for you to also assess your prospective employer to make sure that that is the sort of person that you want to work with, to make sure that those are the people that you are going to be happy to work with and that are going to support you to achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve in that particular job or career. Let me tell you something. If you can spot these signs, I'm going to tell you red signs to spot during an interview, that if you notice any of these signs, then look, that employer is not good. You need to run away. Make sure you don't accept that job. You need to make sure that you're not desperate when you're looking for a job. You need to have your confidence. You need to know that you deserve better so that if what you want is not forthcoming, look, you move on, because there are so many people employing. No matter the sector in which you are, there are always going to be people employing, and so you don't need to be desperate and end up with really frustrating employers. So like I've said, in this video we're going to be focusing on those red signs that if you see or you spot during an interview, then I can assure you that that employer is not good. It would not be a good idea to accept a job with them. So if you're new to the channel, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, again, I do appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel because I'm all about bringing you the best opportunities on how you can progress in your career, land your dream job, and make sure that you live the best life that you can. So also I've got a newsletter which I'm going to leave a link in the comment section. Just check out the newsletter and join, because I can send some of these tips directly to your inbox just to make sure that you excel, you thrive in whatever career that you are in. So the first sign I'm going to say is if they ask you inappropriate questions. So what are inappropriate questions? Some of these questions can be things regarding like race, sexuality, or religion. Look, these questions are illegal to ask candidates during an interview. If any employer asks you any of these questions, look, they are not a good employer. They will not be good if you accept to work with them. Let me give you an example. If they're asking also something like, have you got any kids? Or do you plan to have any kids? That is not a good sign, because with employers like this, they want to know if Melvis is successful, is she going to have maternity leave? Is she going to be off work? What is the probability that she is committed to this job? And while I do understand that employers need their own guarantees to know that as a candidate, you're going to stay long, you're going to be committed to working with them. At the same time, some questions are a no-go area and they should rightfully not be asked during an interview. Look, if you want to know whether I'm going to be having children or not, offer me the job. When I start working with you, then we can have that conversation and you're like, hey Melvis, have you got kids? Would you like to have kids? But still, it is not something that an employer should ever be asking you. Just like religion, they don't want to know, are you a Catholic, are you a Muslim? That has nothing to do with anything. And look, no employer should be asking. Or your sexuality, are you bisexual, are you homosexual, whatever it is. No one should be asking you any of those things in an interview. That is a very big red flag that, look, my dear, you need to run away. Don't accept that job if they give it to you, because your life is going to be hell. So that's the first thing. The next thing that you need to make sure that you're spotting, and if it happens, it is not a good sign. If you ask about induction period or career progression, you're going to look at the faces of the people interviewing you. Look at how they're going to react. Sometimes you can say, look, I'm really looking forward to having the ability to progress in my career, be able to become a manager or whatever. You look at the faces of people. Some of them will just be like, who do you think you are? You're just coming here in an interview, you're already talking about career progression. Really? Look, if you look at that, look, body language is not only you as the candidate that, they're looking at your body language. You need to be assessing the body language of the people interviewing you. If you say something like this and they have attitude, or somebody has attitude in there and they're looking like, how dare you? Or worse still, they respond and say, look, we already have so many people that are working with us that are currently waiting for training or for career progression. So we'll see what we can do and all that. That is not good enough, because you're there as an individual. I'm here as Melvis. I want you to tell me how you're going to support me. I want you to tell me about induction. What support am I going to have? What training have you got for me? That's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the 20 other candidates that you've already got waiting. That is a bad sign, because it shows that if you accept that job, you're going to be last on the queue. because they're going to be giving positions and opportunities not because of merit, but it's going to be because of I know you, you were here first, and all of this. Look, that is not fair. You don't want an employer like that. Now, the third thing is a high turnover. Look, some employers will tell you, oh, look, Melvis, for this position, we're actually recruiting 20 people or whatever. You need to be very vigilant, because if they're recruiting so many people, is it a new service? Is it a new company? Are they starting afresh? Why are they recruiting so many people? Sometimes having to recruit so many people is not always a good sign, because let me tell you, the good employers that treat their staff well, many people stay on there, which means that they don't have many vacancies. If you see an employer that is recruiting all the time, continuously advertising, doing interviews, they are not good. That is a red flag, my dear. You need to run away. Make sure you don't accept that job, because if you do, you're in for a nasty surprise. And by the way, in case you're wondering who I am and it's your first time here, my name is Melvis. I currently work as an advanced nurse practitioner for the NHS in England. I also have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, carers, student nurses, people that want to get into healthcare, non-healthcare related jobs, clinical jobs, non-clinical healthcare jobs. If you want any of these, or you've been procrastinating whether to get into healthcare, what should you do? What career path should you choose? Look, I have a private coaching program where I can support you with this. Again, if you're interested, just let me know. Leave it in the comment section, and I'll make sure that I drop the link for you to have a look and see what it is that we do. Because look, I'm all about everything career progression, so that you can live your best life. You can have the best jobs, the best, highest paying jobs that are good for your ability, without having to put up with, anything that you don't want to. So that is what I really specialize in, and that's what I'm really passionate about. So that's one of the things that you need to be aware. So again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I just want you to hit subscribe, turn on that notification button. If you're enjoying this content, also like the video. It just lets me know that you enjoy content like this, and I should do more of it, and just motivates me to know that, okay, I'm doing the content for a good cause, and that you're watching and you are obviously interested. So thank you very much for that. Then the fourth point is pay. Look, if that, saying that you're going to be a manager, but they're paying you £20,000 per year, for example, look, that is not a good sign. It means that when you go to this job, look, you're going to have so much work to do for peanuts. They're not going to pay you enough. Again, in the interview, you're going to see these signs, because you can see how organized are they, what are they saying that you're going to be doing exactly in this job. Again, with jobs like this, you're going to find that on the advert, they're going to be over promising. They'll be making all these promises on the advert, that when you go to an interview, they'll then start telling you even different roles that you're going to be carrying out. For example, let's say if you're applying for a carer job, and then they're telling you that, oh, you're going to be supporting clients with personal care, but at the same time, you can also help with doing some cooking. Then you do some washing, you do some ironing. You know what I mean? All over the place. These are all red flags. And look, most of the times you can see these red flags during an interview. And that's why I always say, if you're looking for a job, don't be desperate. It is better to take longer and get the best job than to rush in, accept the first opportunity that comes, and then you spend 2 years, 3 years of your life in misery. You don't want to do that. You need to be very strategic. You need to be very smart. You need to assess your employers, and make sure that they tick all those boxes that you want. And look, somebody like me, when I'm going for an interview, or when I'm choosing an employer, I'm very, very strict. I don't go for an interview like, oh, I'm just a candidate. I'm going to assess those people. How prepared are they for the interview? What is their own body language? What are they asking me? What attitude have they got? That non-verbal communication, very important. It's not only you as a candidate being assessed, like I say, but you are also assessing, those people. So if you like this content, again, leave a comment that says, Melvis, I will implement, because I want to know that in your next interview, you're going to be, implementing these things that I'm saying, because otherwise it's all a waste of time for all of us. So leave a comment below and say, Melvis, I will implement. So those are the things that I want you to be keeping an eye on, as you're going for those interviews. Then number five, like I said, the job description that they have given doesn't match the things that they're saying they're going to do, like I said, or they're over promising. Look, when they over promise you, that is a red flag. And let me tell you something that happened to me once. I had a job, my first senior position as a nurse. When I applied for this particular position, I got offered the job. And when I spoke to them on the phone, they were like, Melvis, you can choose what hours you want to work. We're very flexible. You can reform the service. You can bring changes. You can do this. You can do that. I was like, these people, they seem too nice to be true. Are they sure about all of this? That's what I was just thinking to myself, like, this seems too good to be be true. And do you know what I did? I decided to visit the place because it was a place where I hadn't worked before. So obviously they didn't know who I was. So I decided to go to this place to take a day and go visit the area. So when I went to this place, I saw, nurses were working. It was quite a busy day. So I just walked in and I was like, oh, I'm looking out. Basically, I wanted to see another person, nurse that was working in this same position, to speak to them and find out what their experience was working in this particular area, because I felt that the employer was over promising to me, because I told them that I wanted to be flexible and they were like, oh, you can do whatever you want, and I didn't trust that. So when I went there, I spoke to a nurse who was doing the same job that I was going to be doing, and she told me that it was the worst experience ever. She was looking for another job to leave. She was not happy there. She was like, oh my God, she would not advise anybody to come to this job and all of that. And I was thinking, oh my God, look, even though people's experiences are different, even though it's very subjective, somebody having a bad experience somewhere doesn't mean that I am also going to have a bad experience there. But I already had those red flags, and that was why I went to the place. So when this nurse said all of this to me, look, I turned down that job. I did not accept the job, and I kept looking and applying for different jobs. So I turned down this job, and look, like I say, it was my first senior position in the UK. I didn't accept it. I turned the job down because I was like, you're over promising. It's gonna be a bad idea if I accept this job. So please, which is your best tip? Have you noticed any red flags when you've gone to an interview? What are they? Are you able to share with us in the comment section so that we can discuss this further? Again, if you've got any questions, you've got an interview upcoming, I've done lots of videos about how to support you with interviews, whether face-to-face or virtual interviews, my tips, how I prepare for interviews, because look, I've been able to progress from a band 1 carer to an advanced nurse practitioner in the UK. So I've done lots of interviews, whether me interviewing other people or me taking part in those interviews. So make sure you check the videos on the channel, subscribe to the channel, keep watching the videos, and just leave any comments in the comment section. Also, if you haven't joined my newsletter, please, you do want to join that newsletter, because it's very, very important. I want the best for you, and I'm going to be able to send you those updates whenever I get them, so that you don't miss it and keep hoping on the YouTube algorithm to show you videos and all of that. So what's your best tip? Leave it in the comment section, and I'm going to join you in that comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching the videos.